lot of different picks come through here where you can go towards the likes of the Kalista AD carry. We've seen some junglers being high priority like the Graves, or even some teams still up towards that Volibear pick.
This is fantastic for Vici Gaming. iBoy, phenomenal on the Kalista. This is one of the picks that I like to see iBoy on because it's all about the positioning. When it comes to fights, his positioning is fantastic. It's outside of the team fights that there are issues with iBoy. So you know what? Let's play for the mid game. Let's play for team fight positioning. I love it.
And it means as well that Vici are, as you said, going towards a more aggressive style here where they want to be the ones making plays. They want to be the ones going aggressive. So I want to see what they opt in here for Ike's and also for Zeke in that mid lane, because we highlighted how important it was for those two to get rolling to set up Vici for these engagements. Well, they need to get something aggressive and early to have these fights against top esports.
We're going to have that Volibear locked in. Could be for Casa or 369, although we've not seen either of them play it so far this split, so who knows where the Volibear is going to go at this point. But we've got a double Freljord lock-in here with the Ashe coming through for Jackie Love as well, which is a bit of a surprising one. Obviously, the Ezreal banned away, but it's not a pick that we've seen much of from Jackie Love.
No, but it definitely is one that's rising in prominence now, especially in the LPL. Teams love this Ashe pick. Super strong off that one item, and you also get the engagement that it offers to set up for a lot of bruisers that we've seen come through from the top and the jungle.
We're seeing Taric Kalista, which is a little bit of a callback to last split. It kind of fell out of favor, the set becoming the priority support to go alongside this Kalista, but don't be mistaken, Taric Kalista is still terrifying down on the bottom side.
Yeah, Taric Kalista is still very, very strong, and Vici right now have set themselves up for a beautiful team fight, but Top Esports has said, right, we're seeing how aggressive this team fighting squad is on Vici's side. We're going to play towards side lanes. We're going to get this Twisted Fate, play off on the side, make sure that then we can use our lane pressure to try and make picks with the Ashe and with the Twisted Fate.
So Silas banned away here by Top Esports so that Zika can't just steal the Destiny and get off on the side lanes as well, make some plays around the map. And I'm curious what else is going to be banned, because it feels like we need some global pressure from Zika.
Well, the thing is, they've already gotten rid of a lot of that global pressure. He looked really good in the Galio against Yago. Well, that's gone. The Silas is the one where you can obviously steal away the Twisted Fate ult and then join in. The other option that we did see Zika go towards in that JDG series was the set against this Twisted Fate pick, but it was much more difficult for him to control that mid lane in that scenario. And I don't know if they quite want to go towards that pick here once again.
So Tahm Kench an option here. It's something we've seen alongside Ashe. I really doubt we'll see a Senna support coming on through. But we'll have to see where Yanja is going to go in terms of support to go into that 2v2. And it is going to be the Bard here. So Ashe Bard against Taric Kalista. Still, you've got a lot of aggression coming out from Vici in that bottom lane duo.
Yeah, massively so. Well, Vici are going to struggle to a certain extent in this matchup because you do have a little bit of range when it comes to the Ashe. The Bard as well can be a bit of an annoyance for the Taric, so it's kind of an even enough matchup without jungler intervention from the likes of Ike's, but we'll have to see how this one does play out. While we look over at Vici though, potentially here going towards the Ornn for Q. I'm not the biggest fan. What I was actually going to say is I probably would have liked something like the Wukong, something along these lines, or even a Renekton in that top lane, and then go for something like the LeBlanc in the mid lane where you're doubling down on these super early aggressive champions and looking to snowball there. Okay, we're getting the Ziggs for Zika.
Well, technically still global pressure because he can throw the ult, but not quite in the same way. We'll have to see how that one's going to go with the Ziggs in the mid lane. We've got Cube on the Ornn. He's good at the Ornn, just not the carry that we wanted to see. On the other side, though, Top Esports now, they're going to go with Gangplank here for 369, and it's Casa taking the Volibear in the jungle.
So Vici right now, as we talked about, have this really strong setup where you've got this front-to-back team fighting style that's going to be invulnerable with Taric, great engage when it comes to the Kalista and the Ornn, plus this long-range damage and wave clear from the Ziggs. They're looking great. But Top Esports said, look guys, we don't want to opt in towards fights. We're going to play a side lane with Gangplank. We're going to have the same when it comes to this Twisted Fate, and we can use the Cannon Barrage and the Destiny to make picks, especially alongside this Bard and Ashe combo. Like, Top Esports are playing so far away from Vici, it's going to be really hard for them to try and set up for these team fights.
They're playing really far away until they're not. And as soon as there's that opportunity, Ashe Arrow comes out, Twisted Fate jumps in and gets a gold card. Like, there's a lot of potential to make picks from the side of Top Esports. Vici Gaming, though, bringing a Ziggs to the table. And what that shouts to me is not stalling like it used to back in Season 3, Season 4. What it screams to me is They want to break towers ASAP. They've got the Kalista to snowball out of the lane. They've got the Ziggs to destroy towers fast. They want to get this game done as fast as possible.
And it's not even just about, like, he still has great scaling. He still works really well in those scenarios. But the thing is, Twisted Fate wants to get the hell out of lane. He wants to go and influence these side lanes. Well, Ziggs has great wave clear, and if you do leave, because he's got that satchel, he can very quickly take down these mid lane towers. And when Twisted Fate has got already his mid lane tower gone, he's forced underneath his second turret, it becomes a lot more difficult for him to have these big Destiny plays. So I'll be curious to see how this mid lane matchup goes, but Zika clearly has this prepared for this matchup.
Yeah, this feels like a pre-planned pick from Zika with the Ziggs in the mid lane. Maybe this is a Coma special as we head into game number 1 here on Summoner's Rift. It's Vici against Top Esports, and we said this is the test for Zika. Zika has been the star boy here for Vici Gaming so far this split. This is the best performance we've seen out of Vici in a long old while now, and I'm hoping that this could potentially be a playoff team, and this series could well be a deciding factor in that.
We'll have to see. Vici, I mean, for the longest time, we have not been excited about Vici Gaming here in the LPL. And to finally be able to see this team coming together really does fill a lot of the fans at home with hope. But they are against Top Esports, who, I mean, they've been dominant so far in summer. So I want to see now if Vici, and in particular Ix and Zika, can once again step up here for Vici, as it looks like Top Esports are going to go for an early invade.
They
never mind.
Toyed with the idea, but if you cast your minds back, they did that against V5, and it didn't go so hot. So maybe learning from past mistakes, or perhaps just trying to sweep out a little bit of vision here. iBoy and Hung move in. They spot the ward, but they also spot Yuyanja, who isn't going to quite land his Cosmic Binding, and that means that both sides are just going to back away from this trade.
So my eyes are looking towards junglers and the way that these waves are going to interact, because what we're looking at is Ix, who's going to be clearing bot to our top 2 bottom, so he's looking to play around Hung and iBoy, who, sorry, taking a nice bit of damage from Top Esports bot lane. But on the opposite side, 369 actually caught the wave as it was coming in to himself, so he's got a slow push against himself that Karsa will be looking to exploit as he clears on the opposite way to Ix, moving from that bottom side up towards that top side.
So we do have the Unsealed Spellbook in that mid lane. Nothing too crazy coming out from Knight there. And I am really curious. I want to go back to what you mentioned about this Ziggs pick in the mid lane and the way that these two champions interact. Because obviously, Twisted Fate, he wants to get the early recall off, get some items, get level 6, and get out and into the bottom lane, into the top lane, make some plays happen and get the ball rolling. Whereas, as you rightly say, Zika on Ziggs, he is the perfect champion to try and punish that style of play. Karsa's coming into the mid lane, but he's going to find absolutely nothing.
Now, he's not going to be able to find anything. A nice ward placed by Vici's side. As you can see, just their jungle entrance means that they can spot out. So expecting some funky business towards this mid lane. But, I mean, you can already see, look, Karsa, he wants to be aggressive in these early stages. You've got great setup when you look towards Knight. In that mid lane, expect Karsa to be playing pretty heavily towards this top side of the map.
Yeah, we certainly can expect him to be going up there, but whether or not he can find anything could be a different question, because 369 on the Gangplank, obviously not the most aggressive pick in the early game. He is against an Ornn, so most picks can have a little bit more aggression. And obviously, it's great to have a scaling pick in the top side when you're against the Ornn, because you do just get to parlay for free.
Cube took a bit of an aggressive trade there to try and stop this wave pushing in underneath the tower, but now he's left relatively low health under this. This isn't good.
Yeah, well, he's crafted himself a cloth armor or something. Searing charge back under the tower. This is nice from Cube. The turret shot not quite enough. 369. He's going back under, gets the parlay, but he takes a tower shot for it. Volcanic Rupture's there, but Searing charge still on cooldown.
Nobody goes down, but that was a bit of a dicey call there.
Oh.
Night Now will just move up here to help Karsa, just to make sure they can get a scuttle for himself, because Ix has already full cleared his bottom side. He's going to be coming back towards this top point, having got a scuttle of his own on the bottom side, and you just got to be a little bit careful here as Karsa, as Ix enters into this top side.
Yeah, don't want to get caught out with no HP, but obviously we are going to see everyone reset here. Karsa's going to be able to just clear his red and then potentially head back to base, or just continue clearing, because he is Volibear. Like, he can stick in the jungle for a longer while.
Yeah, he does have the shield, which does a lot of work for him. Obviously, the smites and everything else to heal himself up. So he'll be fine to just try and keep going. But it does mean at the moment that Ix has that advantage when it comes to his first back, getting his first item, and a bit more advantage on how he can play out through these topside lanes or even through mid lane before Karsa gets that back off.
So we've got Dragon spawning in 20 seconds, Dag, there. And we've got a Kalista on the map, but it doesn't necessarily feel like iBoy and Hung haven't been able to be as aggressive as maybe you'd expect with a Taric Kalista locked in.
Yeah, I mean, look, we talked about it. Hey, as much as you like to be aggressive with this Taric Kalista, it can actually be a bit of an issue when you've got this long range of the Ashe, which the poke from the volley and the slows can obviously be a nuisance for both the Kalista and the Taric, plus the slows that can come through from Cosmic Bindings makes it a bit difficult to try and play out this lane as aggressive as you'd like. And it has netted a nice CS lead for JackeyLove on the bottom side.
In the meantime, Zeke just going to be clearing the minions here. You can see he's out of mana, so I think he's going to have to go for a quicker reset before getting back into the lane. He's running teleport, so he can get back in without losing too much CS here.
So Knight actually has just teleported himself back in, and this is something you'll see a lot of Twisted Fates go for around this 5:30 mark, is they'll try and get back into lane full mana so that then they can make a teleport play at level 6 with all the health and all the mana available to them.
Well, you've just mentioned he's hit level 6 and Knight. You can see him already moving out of the mid lane here, but there were pings that came out immediately from Zika. They know that Knight wants to do exactly this, and Cube is aware, but might get caught out anyway. Searing Charge, but he gets out of vision. And he's going to survive the play. Nice presence of mind here from Vici.
Fantastic from Vici, because that first gank from Twisted Fate is super important. If you don't get it off, because of how long of a cooldown you have and how much pressure you need having that ultimate up available, if you can't get that first one rolling, well, that advantage is gone and you're pretty much useless until it's back up.
Zika is now going to move towards the dragon that Karsa has already begun for himself. Maybe can look for something. No, he's just going to go back to the mid lane. Never mind. I thought he was at least going to throw a bomb over and just hope for the miracle steal. It's not going to happen, though, as there was no contest on the dragon. So Top Esports making plays on both sides of the map.
Yeah, and I was about to say, that's excellent from Top Esports, realizing, look, we don't need Karsa involved in this top lane play. If we don't go too deep, we can either draw Ikes up there, or we end up, and we get the dragon, or Ikes is not topside, and we can actually get that kill onto Cube, or at least force him back. So Cube taking a lot of pressure here in this early game, and you can see it reflecting that CS. He's not having a fun time against Gangplank.
Yeah, which is to be expected, at least to some extent. And when we take a look at the CS leads, there was a bit of a lead that JackeyLove had built up on this Ashe against Kalista, but what with him heading back to base, that's evened out somewhat in that bottom lane. But now you'll see iBoy trying to get a recall off, but he's going to be denied. He's not been able to buy for a little while, and JackeyLove wants to find himself a solo kill down in the bottom side of the map. That's the 2v2 kill, but on the other side than we expected.
That was so bad from iBoy, getting caught out, not realizing there's a ward in the bush, and great on you, Yanji, to get that stun, set up for the slows that we talked about from JackeyLove, and net themselves a kill, plus a massive advantage, because now they can shove in this bottom lane, they can recall and have pressure towards Rift Herald off of this perfect timing for the kill.
And you know, we said right at the start, look, the weakness for Top Esports is the bottom lane during the laning phase. That's where you can really punish this team. That's what V5 did to punish this team. But the weakness for Vici has also been the bottom lane. And so far, it's looking like Top Esports is a lot less of a weakness.
Definitely. And now, like, think about the massive advantage you've just picked up. So you've hit level 6 first as JackeyLove. So you can either shove in this wave and work towards a little bit more of your expensive items like that Blade of the Rune King, and then move over towards Rift Herald, or you can just stay in this bottom lane. You still have an advantage when it comes to levels, and you're pretty much even on that itemization as well. So they're looking to just continue bullying either through Rift Herald or through this bottom lane.
So Karsa's not been spotted by the sword yet. This is nice from top for you, Yanja, just to clear that one up, and then use the sweeper to get into this bottom side of the map. Knight is about to get Destiny off of cooldown, and they really want to make a play onto iBoy and Hung. No flash available on this Kalista, and JackeyLove knows it. He's just going to be looking for the slow, looking for a way to get on in, but he's attacked by the Fate's Call. The stun comes through, collateral damage, but JackeyLove still surviving for now. Finally falls, and it's 1-for-1 right now, but iBoy cannot survive any longer. Taken down, and it's a double kill for Knight.
Double kill goes over for Knight. One is gotten back, though, so they do manage to turn around a little bit for Vici off of Zika's ultimate coming down from mid lane, but still, Top Esports get the advantage that they want in this bottom lane, but they do have to get back towards mid because Zika wants to make his own turret plates fall.
He has been struggling to get any kind of pressure, though. This Ziggs is taking a little while to come online, so this will be the first plate. If the minions actually finish it, they're not going to get it. Zika didn't get the plate. That is, you know, Not great for Zika, because one more auto would have done the job, but there you go. That's life in it.
Just have to be very careful, though, because you did have Yuanji there who can obviously get in to close the gap very quickly. Even setting up Knight, who still has Flash, to close that gap. So I would rather he respected the potential gank, but still, as we're talking about, look, we wanted to see how quickly Zika could shove in this lane whenever Knight did make these roams, and so far he hasn't quite been able to get as much pressure as he'd like, and even with that one ultimate coming down, it still netted a double kill for top esports. So we now got to see, okay, how can Vici try and turn this around? Because don't forget, Vici are the early game team here. They don't have the likes of the Gangplank where if Knight and 369 can play off in these side lanes, Vici can struggle to try and answer for this.
Bit of a contest here. Karsa manages to get his Mega Chicken for himself. So we do have recalls across the... I thought that was a teleport being shot off by 369 for a second, but it's just going to be Ike's now starting this Herald off, but he's just noticed that he was spotted. 369 cancels the recall, and Karsa is here. We're not going to see this one given up without a fight here, as top esports definitely wanting to contest. You can see Yuyanja moving up towards the play as well.
So top esports can just gift this and go straight over towards the Dragon, use the bottom lane advantage that they have, and it looks like that is going to be the play. A little bit late on the backs for the Dragon from Karsa, but they'll still be happy to start putting more Dragons into their back pocket. And I just actually want to clarify something I said there. The Vici comp, it's not like it doesn't scale as well. It's just that when you look towards the side lane pressure and the tempo advantage that top esports want to start setting up this 1-3-1 split, they want to be at least having some sort of control, and 369 will take over in the side lane later on. So Vici need to be in the lead to force top esports to fight them, rather than having top esports in these side lanes.
I'm with you. So when it comes to this style of play they want to get off in the late game, it's not just straight scaling necessarily, it's much more about the way that the game has to be played later on. There is always the Taric in there, which can always you know, change the dynamic a little bit. But you mentioned top esports moving towards the Dragon before, and Karsa's going to do exactly that. This will be the second Dragon of the game, which does mean we're going to have some pretty important defensive Dragons coming next. Either the Ocean or the Mountain Soul here. As Jackie Love is heavily winning these trades down in the bottom side now. Stun's going to do nothing. Fate's Call, knock up onto Jackie Love here. Hung is just going to try and finish the kill by himself, but he doesn't have the damage. Cannon Barrage is there. Destiny coming in as well, as Knight looks for more underneath the tower, but the tower's gone because Volibear's arrived, and Knight's left alone.
And there's nothing that Vici can do. This is the map pressure that we are talking about. With Cannon Barrage, with Destiny, you can have so many members join into these plays from top esports that Vici can't deal. Yeah, you've got a semi-global with Zika, but that doesn't count anywhere near as much as the Cannon Barrage and the Destiny.
And look at the lack of turret plates that Zika's been able to get. We were talking about the Ziggs pick as like a potential answer, right? Where maybe you could just shove the wave and take plates off of the tower. There's barely any difference in CS, but then look at the rest of the scoreline. 2-0-1 for Knight.
Look at how Knight has been setting this up. So where Zeke is in lane at the moment means that there's no pressure onto the mid lane turret, and even when they do go for this bottom lane play, yes, you do get Knight of roams down, but Zeke is also moving to try and get in range for an ultimate of his own, which means that he's not actually pushing the wave to try and get the turret plates. He's looking to join in, but look how late the bombs are. Well,
we do get to see a Herald in the mid lane, so at least that is going to force some plates, and bear in mind that that satchel charge can execute towers, so Zika can guarantee the rest of the plates. That's the strength right there that we see from the Ziggs.
And Ziggs is still ramping up. I mean, he is someone who comes online definitely on the 3 items, and we will be... Oh, aye boy, hang on. No, he'll be okay. But we will be waiting until he comes online a little bit more, and then he can have these massive pressures when it comes to obviously clearing out the waves. You talked about the stall potential that Ziggs has, and especially when you've got top esports who are looking to play this 1-3-1 stall, having this Mega Inferno Bomb to control those side lanes is going to be great for Vici, especially as they're trying to set up for team fights.
And I'm curious how on earth Vici do set up for team fights in this game. Not in a negative way, how on earth, but just like, it's a long while since I've seen Ziggs team fights. It's a long while since I've seen Ziggs at all, honestly. So I'm curious what the game plan is going to be, because, you know, we mentioned the fact that he can speed the pace of the game up with executing towers and whatnot, the siege potential. But he also can really slow games down. If you could deny Barons, it becomes very difficult for top esports to actually siege.
Yeah, well, look, top esports, the way they want to play, as we talked about, is having Knight off in a side lane, he can get some decent chip damage if he's against Cube, and 369 as well can get some decent damage when he's given the opportunity. But it is going to be a case of Zika looking to just wave clear consistently, and more so, can top esports have Knight face off against Cube, where Cube can't clear the wave fast enough before Knight can get 1 or 2 Lichbane procs off and just chip slowly but surely away at these turrets. Whereas if Vici are the ones that are in control, it becomes a lot easier for them to force objective fights. Like, we've got this dragon in 2 minutes time. Well, Vici, off of the current itemization, will be able to finish iBoy's Blade of the Rune King, and then they're pretty much good to go for that fight. Whereas top esports, I imagine, will still be looking to play out these side lanes, probably crack open that top lane turret and gift over this dragon.
Yeah, speaking of side lanes, you can see Knight already doing exactly that. He is so far ahead in gold right now. Obviously, part of that down to being Twisted Fate anyway, but then he's got some kills on top of it. iBoy's been caught out, which I've said a lot over the last year here. He's going to be stunned up by absolutely everything and just obliterated. The bomb does a good amount of damage, but it's too little too late.
Yeah, iBoy getting caught out there. Now, there isn't any objectives at the moment for them to try and push too heavily, although we can look towards that top lane turret we were talking about for top esports to open up, but he will be back in the map for the Mountain Dragon, and honestly, it's quite a bit invested from top esports. I mean, you got every single ultimate out for top esports for 1 pick, so they won't be able to fight for this next dragon if they're going to go towards it.
The next dragon up in a minute's time, so everyone will be on the map, but the TP is going to be down here. Let's take another look at this pick. And this is just great from Yanja.
Yeah, but this is just a little taste of how top esports are going to play this composition. They have so much pick potential that the second you step out of line, you're going to get blown up. And as you can see, with Enchanted Crystal Arrows, Tempered Fates, TPs, and everything going your way, there's not a hope you're escaping.
And do you know what? We came into this series saying, hey, the weakness for top esports is this bottom lane. It's Yanja, it's Jackie Love in the laning phase. But hey, so far, it's been looking fantastic on the bottom side. Jackie Love getting a kill 2v2 during the laning phase. Yuyanja's been hitting bindings for days. The Tempered Fates are great. This is looking fantastic.
And that's not even mentioning the massive advantage Knight has. He's already finished the Lichbane. He can go and do whatever he wants in these side lanes, and there's nothing that Vici can do about it.
We could have a fight on our hands here. Cube is Ornn, bear in mind, so there's always the Ornn Horn to turn this one around. Hunk just gets removed from the play, though, and so will Cube. This is already won by top esports. Ike's chased out of his own jungle. The fight is over before it ever begun.
I don't know why...
Flash for a gold card. Ike's can't even get away from this one. The slows from Ash as well. Another one for Knight. He's got 5 kills, Dagda.
That is insane for Knight, but Vici, that was your fight to turn this game around. We said already, Vici will have the ultimate advantage.
Oh, no. Not like this. Not like this, iBoy.
It's
One more
3
gold
levels
card will
up
do
as
the
well.
job. There's a cannon barrage just as insult to injury here. I mean, I don't know what to say about that one. 1 and 5 right now.
Cube needed to just pull the trigger the second they went into that fight. Because 369 didn't have the cannon barrage available. There was no ult for Karsa, no Destiny for Knight. So you have all 5 ultimates up and available for Vici. And Hung ends up getting picked off straight away without anything being used. Like, that is a massive mistake from Vici. They could have won this. Like, if you watch here, Hung just have Cube use his ultimate, Hung pop that Cosmic Radiance, you make that play, and you can win out this fight. You've got a great engage. There's no real front line here for top esports. Yes, you've got Karsa, but that's not really enough. And Vici should be able to mow down top esports despite the advantages. But instead, they end up getting picked off. Again, it's Hung, who we've been criticizing quite a bit for getting caught out as of late. And now you're giving all these advantages over to top esports.
Yeah, this is starting to look real rough for Vici, I'm not going to lie. 7,500 gold lead at 18 minutes into the game. This is meant to be the Vici that is on the up and up. This is meant to be the upswing. This is meant to be the changed squad, the new team that's maybe going to even make playoffs. But it's not looking like it right now.
Yeah, but we also said this is an angry top esports. This is a top esports that just dropped a game, and
that's true.
That is exactly what we're looking at here.
It's an angry Jackie Love and Yanja, because they are doing to iBoy what V5 did to Jackie Love in the last series. They are cyberbullying that bot lane.
Yeah, this is painful to watch as a Vici fan, but if you're a top esports fan, you're on top of the world right now. Knight looks great, the bottom lane looks fantastic. 369, he's been free farming, so he's going for this full crit gangplank, but top side.
There's a bomb coming down onto Knight. He's not that tanky, and he's going to be taking down Hun, grabbing the kill for himself there as Jackie Love slides through the wall here. It's going to be the one pick, but a nice little shutdown goes the way of Tarek.
Nice job by Vici to make that pick, but unfortunately for them, there's no dragons. They're not going to be able to turn towards Baron, and they're a long way from actually moving up towards this top lane turret. So, may not be able to capitalize on anything, but at least it's slowing down the pressure from top esports and getting some much-needed gold into their back pocket.
I just wish that gold had gone on to anyone but Tarek, right?
Yeah.
That was a big shutdown. I didn't quite see how much, but if Zika could get that, if iBoy could get that, that's a much, much more valuable kill because, as you rightly say, there's no objectives for them to get. So, in terms of map, it doesn't do a whole lot.
And it also means now for the likes of Cube, like, he's not going to have his teleport up and available for the next fight that's coming up, so he's going to need to be joined with the team, whereas Destiny will be back for Knight. You're going to have 369 who has his teleport available. So top esports can play this map wide, wait for this dragon to spawn, have all these CP plays that can move in, pick off people, or just have a numbers advantage towards this Mountain Soul, and it's pretty much theirs.
I want to take a look at the items for a second here, Dagda, because we're really starting to hit some power on the side of top esports. Gangplank with the Triforce and the Essence Reaver. You can see he's just got a Jorum's Fist as well on top of everything else. The Rod of Ages is stacked for Knight with a Lich Bane, and then he's gone on a bit of a shopping spree, couldn't decide what to get, so he's got himself a Zeal and a needlessly large Rod, whichever works. And then Jackie Love's hit 2 items as well. So all of the carries on top esports that aren't that strong necessarily in the early game have got to the point where they are that strong and they can just demolish people.
And it's going to be so difficult to deal a side wave with either 369 or Knight. So Knight can go towards this Rabadon build, and it does so much damage to structures. It is actually insane because of just how strong that Lich Bane is, but we gotta look at Cube first. Yeah,
Cube is a tanky old boy on the Ornn, so I think he's gonna be okay, but Yu Yanja having a field day, just throwing some meeps at him, which I have to say, meeps should have rights. That's all I have to say about that, but, you know, Bard, he doesn't care about other people. Anyway, Jackie Love in the mid lane.
For a caregiver, he's so selfish.
Yeah. Jackie Love having to flash away from this one. Knocked up by the Fate's Call here. The bomb comes in as well. And Jackie Love has been caught here. The collateral damage, and iBoy gets the kill. Now, Yu Yanja arriving on the backside of the fight as they're trying to turn this one around. Knight with 1. As Ike's having to be chased away here by 369. Gold card onto Hung, and there's a double for Knight. And somehow, everything still goes the way of top.
They didn't have that TP we talked about for Cube, so they're the ones that are able to collapse faster. Vici are on the back foot, and even though they managed to force a play from iBoy and Hung, they actually are the two that go down.
And you know, ultimately, it was... Just low here. Ike's doesn't have his ultimate available right now. He's going to be exhausted as well as Knight's looking for the gold card once again. No rapid fire cannon, so he can't quite find the pick there. Dragon's up in 10 seconds, Dagda.
And everyone here from Vici will have respawned, can move over, so top esports can't just force this objective. They don't have the ability to go and teamfight against them, although as I say that, not having the Call of the Forge God available could be pretty large.
TP from Knight as well in the bottom lane, so everybody is going to get here from top esports to make sure that they can at very least start this dragon off. This will be Mountain Soul if top can get it.
You've got a lot of poke here from Zika though, and you need top esports to burst this.
Tempered Fate goes wide on this one, but it's going to be the dragon just being taken down before the fight even starts with a soul there. Jackie Love so confident to step forward. In goes the bear, and down goes Vici. It's over before it ever begun, and Zika goes to the cannon barrage. There's one last kill for Knight. And that might just be game if they can grab the Baron.
It's a clean ace from top esports with that Mountain Soul, with the Baron. Knight is just going to tear through these structures by himself. Lich Bane Twisted Fate is having a field day right now.
This is all but over already, and we're only 23 minutes into this one. Knight is just going to annihilate the tower with the picker card, with the wild cards as well. And you can see him just take that one down. In the meantime, the rest of the squad on the Baron already. Death time is still ticking.
Yeah, and I mean, Knight's just going to be able to piece on out of there. He's totally fine after he gets this inhibitor. So, top esports, well, they just cracked open this game. And the one opportunity that we talked about for Vici, where maybe they can find the team fight, maybe they can find something, is just completely gone when Top Esports have such a large gold lead. You can't fight them at all as Vici.
And you can see how intense that was by the sheer intensity of the yogurt advert that just flashed across the bottom of the screen.
I do like intense yogurt, but you're going to see here from Vici, look, like the front line is all over the place. Cube isn't able to protect the back line, and to be honest, the back line is just all grouped up perfectly for Karsa alongside that front line. So when he hops in, you don't have the damage left available. Knight is running through everyone with the Ghost, and Zika is forced to hop out of there.
Yeah, Mikhail's used there by Hunk to save the day, but I don't know how long it's going to save the day for. Another great Temper Fate. Yuyanja is on point. Zika desperately trying to get out. The bomb just not doing enough at this point. That's both carries gone. Now Hung going to get chased down as well. Top Esports are back on top once more. They are firing on all cylinders. A triple kill for Knight. He is 12, 1, and 7. That is insane. And he's not done just yet, as he wants yet another one onto Cube here. He's desperately trying to not let him onto the fountain. The healing is there. I don't know if it's quite enough. It will survive at the end of the day, but Top Esports, my lord, this is a dominant game 1 against Vici Gaming.
I thought I might have been able to see my first TF pentakill, but not today. Top Esports will still take down Vici.
My goodness. 911, I'd like to report a murder, because that was just brutal. Honestly, and let's